Did you know you lose 91 days a year to scrolling? That's your entire summer gone. So this summer, log off and show up with friends and some ice-cold Heinekens. Then instead of commenting on your crew's stories, he'll be making memories with them. Sorry, social media. The scrolling ends and the fun begins with cold Heinekens and good friends. Heineken, social networking since 1873. Available at your local Heineken retailer or for delivery at Heineken.com. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Meet the most capable CRV Honda has ever dreamed of. The all-new CRV Trail Sport Hybrid. With all-terrain tires and available enhanced traction control, it's built for wherever the day takes you. Heated front seats and a heated steering wheel, ideal for winter drives and crisp early starts. And with generous cargo space, it's ready for big gear and even bigger getaways. The CRV Trail Sport Hybrid. Learn more at honda.com/CRV.
You're listening to ModifedRoll, part of the Podderation Network.
Getting out of here tonight, and we're getting out of here alive. Stay that way, okay? Back shortly.
Yes. Go, quick.
Yes. Full movement through this door, into the weapons room to find the bundles of weapons.
And as you pull them out, you realize there are 3 silvered short swords in here. I mean, let's see, you're a spellcaster. What's your armor class? Will a 13 hit?
Wait.
God damn it! These guys were meant to be scary!
And is going to instead... Let's go for another Toll the Dead, shall we? Excellent news. Okay, that's 2d12. Let me just get those. Have I popped another one's skull?
The were-rat had exactly 13 health left. The cookpot reappears. Dung, 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 dung. And again, this crunching, cracking sound of a skull being imploded, blood spurting from mouth and nose and ears as the were-rat just...
Sinclair watches Horwick drag the pig into the room. He says, "All right, Horwick, hold him still, good chap." Takes a mighty swing. That is a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
13 slashing damage.
13, lovely. And with your magic weapon, it's going to take all of that.
And then he's going to rear back. He's going to rear back for his second attack. Oh, that was nice. 10. That's 15 damage, slashing damage.
Thank you. And Laura kind of very delicately goes onto her knees and places out a hand and into where some of the not yet closed sinew, just kind of places a gentle finger, and I am going to attempt to cast Inflict Wounds.
God damn.
Sinclair looks back, he winks at Rain, he draws it back as high as he can with his sword, and like he did to the Lich, he bisects it in 2.
Made more impressive because this creature is flat on the ground.
Oh
so
yeah,
like a
sushi chef. Just with the way he curves the blade in his hand.
Yeah, swings down almost like as you step to the side of it, and there is this almost the beginnings of a squealing roar, and then it's immediately cut off, and the two halves fall either side as the creature lies dead. You guys have successfully dispatched all of the lycanthropes that were currently working for this organization. What would you guys like to do?
He said that was such disappointment.
I mean, I was just hoping there's going to be you guys took next to no damage. You got hit once.
I don't know.
Sinclair will sort of do a bit of a stretch. That was a good workout.
Just bear in mind, I said I can lie. There's another combat coming. I can lie. Don't get too cocky.
Tego's hangover is starting to pass. So we'll just walk up to the werebore and kind of drag them to the side and then cast bonfire under them.
Yeah, this in the middle of the room, this werebore is now in a conflagration as a bonfire is lit underneath it.
As just before Beacon of Hope ends, because it only lasts for a minute, and we've had a fair few rounds of combat there. I think Horik is the one who's looking the most damaged. Am I right?
I mean, I think after the first hit, he did not. Yeah, you. Out of game, he's on 40 out of 65. So
okay.
If you want to drop like another hit bonus or healing word on him or something, it would probably bring him back up to full. Well, not full. Maybe a cure wound to bring him up to full.
I'll do a cure wounds. So it's going to be.
I took damage.
Did you take damage? How much? Okay. If you took a chunk of damage, then I'm just going to prioritize curing you.
I'm down to 24 from 38. I took a few bites.
She'll prioritize curing you. So 12 points of healing back before Beacon of Hope drops.
How many has Horwick taken, did you say?
He's on 48 of 65. So 12.
12. Sinclair will clap his hands together, lay on hands, heal him back up for 12.
Cool. He is back up to full. Again, as the combat ends, you see the adrenaline sort of leave him, and you see him sort of like huff and puff, and the veins sort of like go back. The muscles sort of aren't swelling as profusely. Oh, that was a bit of a rush, but
Oh, and Sinclair will heal himself, by the way, as well.
Touch yourself, cool.
Touches himself in front of people, yep.
Well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch my body.
As long as you're all right, little fella.
Oh, dinner on a show.
Yeah, Rain sees Laura coming to heal him and just pushes her away.
Fine. I don't need to help you.
No, heal me.
So,
please.
You guys are in a room, bearing in mind, no ventilation, very quickly filling up with smoke. What is your plan?
Tego has made roast pork. Does anyone want?
I think those count as people, Tego. I don't think that's actual pork.
Just for the reference, that means very little to Tego. Maybe something to the rest of you.
I think I'm okay. Thank you, Tego. A kind offer.
Maybe later.
Or drop the bonfire.
So, you've got the rooms that the werewolf came from, you've got the door that Sinclair tried to open, and you've still obviously got that hallway from the other direction.
Well, I'm not touching that door again. Someone else could do that.
You would know from the fact that the magic sort of fizzled out on the door after the fact that was a one and done sort of sigil.
Oh, he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Still is not touching it.
So Rain will go to that door and, again, pressing an ear to it or looking for the keyhole to sort of listen through, maybe look through, just gauge what's on the other side, just from what he can.
Yeah, I'll not make you roll just for the sake of expediency. You don't hear anything coming from the other side.
Okay. He just looks through and says, well, I can't hear anything over on that side, so either it's not important or it's empty. I don't know. And he sort of... Oh.
Yeah,
looking through and seeing what looks like a bookshelf and a desk is it's definitely boring in there.
Yeah, that one isn't locked. The magic sigil was what keeping people out. But you see inside what is quite obviously a small office. There are various volumes and ledgers and a desk full of notes.
As he sort of pushes the door open to reveal it to everyone else, he will look to Laura, sort of knowing she will be far more educated than he will, at least in looking for things. That might be more your scene. I'm going to go check the werewolf room. Everyone else just take 5, I guess.
Horik would follow in. He's obviously, knowing what his second cousin is doing, he wants to go in and find as much information as he can.
Sinclair will look at Laura as she goes into the room and says, "Don't worry, I'll look after him," and then he follows Rain.
I'm sure you will.
An excuse.
Wink. So, just because it'll be nice and quick, Sinclair and Rain, the rooms you find in there look to be whatever rooms that these enforcers would use whenever they turn up. Obviously, now you know they are lycanthropes. There is a door further in that is like smashed off of its hinges. When you look in there, you can see bedrolls and some basic storage for whatever these people would bring in with them. The room that you're currently stood in, where you saw the werewolf sort of take its last stand, is where they obviously sort their food. You can see the table has obviously got evidence of some butchery being done. You can see there are like a bear trap that is, like I said, partially put together. So this is obviously just where they put all of their shit together before they go out hunting or whatever. But otherwise, there's very little of interest in these rooms.
Okay.
So Laura, if you're wanting to look things over, do you want to give me an investigation check? Horwick will... Horwick will give you the help action because his investigation is shit.
Mine's not great either. I don't know why I've been volunteered for this task.
Horwick has a 6 in intelligence.
Never mind, I am better. Okay.
He's a good boy, not a smart boy.
Okay, it's not great. It's a 12.
So with a 12, you don't find, like, this is a lot of the ledgers, this obviously being, like, people doing illegal stuff. They're not just writing, transported such and such illegal goods today. It is, like, written in cipher and code, and everything is hidden. But you do see several, like, half-written letters and recently opened letters on the desk that obviously whoever was in here was recently working on or finished reading. One is, I call it a letter. It is a, like, almost like soggy bit of parchment torn with, like, burn marks on the edge, scrawled in a rough approximation of common, which roughly, as I translated, it reads like it was written by a child, or, in this instance, a kobold. It is just a note that was obviously not sent in a envelope or, like, delivered. It was obviously carried here by a kobold, and it just sort of, it details the recent kobolds who have been sent to assist with their venture, saying there should be 5 who arrived with this letter, and they await the delivery of the next shipment to the caves. There is another note that has obviously been sent here or delivered here, detailing... I've also just realised I referred to Tego's clan by the incorrect name, because they were the Dusk Scale clan, which is the whole thing. We named them after what you looked like. The Cracked Fang that I mentioned earlier is actually who this letter is from. You see it is just signed at the bottom, representatives of the Cracked Fang, and there's like almost like a sigil stamped in the bottom, which is like what is quite obviously a fang that has a large, like, seamed crack running through it, detailing the payment owed on their recent work completed over a period of several weeks. You can tell that this is the group that has been supplying the enforcers. As you read that, give me a history check.
Okie dokie, that's a d12, that's not the right dice. History, 8.
You've heard of the Cracked Fang, but you don't know much about them, although you probably piece a few things together by what you've seen here. The letter that's currently being written, well, there's 2 actually. You see one is a letter being sent back to the Cracked Fang, essentially, saying, alongside delivery of this letter, you will be supplied with, and then it, like, lists payment for various things, and, a lot of it's just, like, enforcement, as well as, like, you can tell there's a few other tasks that they've been doing on behalf of this group. You can see that letter is finished and is signed on behalf of the Eclipse Council, which you don't have to roll for, is a name you have never heard.
Okay.
And there is another half-finished note, but it's just starting out as, like, an introduction. You can tell it's being written to a merchant somewhere in who operates in Belgravia, and you can tell it is starting out to be some sort of, like, shakedown letter. Essentially, like, we know that you transport illegal goods. Either you do this from us from now on, or we're going to, and then it sort of, like, finishes there.
Okay. Right.
I also like how diligently you're taking notes when you are probably never going to be involved in this story again. I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
I'm the note taker, it's what I do.
I love it. But yeah, that is all the information you're able to pull together.
I think that Laura will just give it to Horwick, because, like, he has more of a vested interest in this. Laura just wants to get out. which kind of summarizes what she's come across in them. Just kind of quickly, based on like the handwriting, does it all look like it's kind of that same kind of scratchy?
No, only the first one. That one's quite obviously written by a kobold. The next one, the one signed by the Crack Fang, is written, if not in like elegant writing, in much more like legible writing. It's written by someone who knows how to read and write. The final one is written in a like the final two that are obviously the ones being written here. They weren't received here. They were being written here. Are very like flourishy and like trying to look self-important. You know what I mean? Like somebody put lots of big flourish. Yeah. I'm important, so my writing must be big. That sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think just other than having a little look around, if there's nothing else of interest, mainly focusing on the notes and going over them with Hoyk, is going to kind of go back into where Sinclair and Tego are. Well, no, sorry, Sinclair went with Rain.
I think everyone else has gathered back into the main room, but yeah, when you show those to Horwick, he is like none the wiser than you are, but he just like bundles them all up. He even looks around and just like grabs a couple of the ledgers. Like you can't work them out, but maybe somebody else can, and he can use them as evidence.
Yeah.
And he grabs them now just in case they don't get the chance to come back, and stuffs them into like a very simple like pack that he has. But yeah, you guys reconvene in the center of the room. It is still very smoky and smelling like burnt pork. Which, for anyone who knows it would smell like pork one way or the other.
Just thinking of the layout of where we are now, sort of trying to jog his own memory of where we are. Does it feel like we're going further away from where we'd want to be going towards, or are we heading in the right direction given what where we've walked before the camp?
So this room that you guys are in now is the only room that you've seen beyond like the basic sort of storage living space, and you have now explored the extents of this area. The only other place that you've seen that you've not been before was that hallway that you haven't explored.
Yeah.
No matter how you travel, it's good to have a plan. Some people plan every minute. No sleep, bus, museum, another museum, while others only plan to take it day by day. When it comes to your finances, a plan is just as important. You can count on Credit Karma to give you the insights you need to understand your options, so you can take charge of your financial path and find your way to money. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on. Download the app today.
I think we need to get out of here quick, just because of smoke inhalation is not good for you. So, everybody, out.
Shoo.
Secondhand smoke, it's not good.
out, shoo. So yeah, you guys move back out of the room.
Rain will instantly come to this area and sort of peek around the corner to see what he can see down there, and just how far it goes, if there's more doors, that kind of thing. Just really starting to get into that rogue, you're sort of picking in the lay of the land type thing.
So you peek around the corner. I'm just going to move you out because there's nothing there. You peek around the corner and you see a hall that extends about 30 feet. And you can see at the end where all of the rooms you've been in, like this place, it's very much sort of cobbled together. Some of it was like natural caverns, but, you know, whether it was the kobolds or somebody else before this group even took up residence here, has obviously done their best to sort of make the rooms a bit more sturdy, make them, you know, put walls in, but it is very much like they have carved them out, and where they've had to like fill in cracks, they've just put up some stone. At the far end of this hall, you can see that where the cavern has like started to open a little bit, somebody has filled it in with stone and brick, and in the center is a large metal door. There does not appear to be like a lock or anything on it, but there's just this large, I'd probably say iron, like not anything fancy, but heavy iron double door.
Look, sort of looking to everyone, he'll give that sort of roguish, sort of follow me nod sort of type thing as he sort of makes his way to this corner. And then as we're walking, Rain is going to start wanting to look for signs of traps, of more spell sigils, sort of walls, incantations, anything that may sort of lead to the idea that this place is not just a simple walkthrough.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Will do. Investigation. 14.
Yeah, you don't spot any sort of traps along here?
You said that way too easily. I don't believe you. But
it's almost like there's no traps along here and I didn't have to think about it.
It's almost like our regular DM has made us so paranoid about hallways and doors.
I know, right? The door is just a door.
So here's the thing, I
lie.
do love traps. Just throwing that out there. I love a good trap.
Sort of coming into this area, sort of having scoped it out, sort of looking through, was like, it's safe around here. It's definitely not as trapped as the other area. This looks promising, as he sort of gestures to the large double iron doors that everyone will start to see now.
Yep. Not to sound ominous, but is anyone approaching them or trying to open them?
Nope, we're just staring at them at the moment. Just looking to everyone else. Do we burst through? He seems to be making noises as it is, or do you want me to try and,
Careful of electrocution. It's not great, I'll tell you that.
I'm sure these ones are fine. Maybe you want to push them first, though, Sinclair, so big and strong.
Well, yes. And then he just mindlessly does it.
So easily led. Sinclair, the first thing you notice when you reach out to open the door is a shock of static. No, I'm joking.
As soon as Sinclair approaches the door, Laura realizes that she's right behind him again and steps to the side.
Dives out of the way. No, the first thing you notice as you touch the door is that it is not cold, but it is like cool to the touch, like cooler than the surrounding area.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also not locked. There seems to be no lock on it. And as you open it, it swings open easily to your touch, and you can see on the other side a natural sort of cavern. Well, I say cavern. It starts out as a natural tunnel, but you can see there's almost like a bioluminescent light shining from the end. It's not particularly long, maybe only 30 or 40 feet you can see before it starts to turn and open out a bit ahead of you.
He will slowly enter the cavern.
Cool. Just because it is a narrow tunnel to start with, what is the marching order going in? And you guys can dictate where you want Horwick to go.
I think put Horwick near the front.
Because he's dispensable.
No, because he's a barbarian.
Oh, well, that too, I suppose.
He's dispensable.
Can I ask, does Tego recognize anything ahead?
Give me a history check.
16?
As the doors swing open, there is a smell that comes out. Not a nasty smell, but like a natural smell, almost like fungal, like something deep in the earth. There's also a smell of moisture on the air, like water ahead. And if you restrain your ears, you think maybe, just maybe on the edge of hearing, you can feel a gentle lapping of water echoing down the tunnel. And you get this feeling of deja vu, as if you've stood in this exact spot before as these doors opened in front of you.
Panic starts to set in.
Cool. Good to know. So, Horwick is currently in the lead. Who's following up?
I'll follow behind Horwick.
Follow behind.
And I'll follow behind.
Is Tego's... Oh, between if you're following behind him, I was going to say, is Tego's panic like preventing him from moving, or is it just sort of an elevated heart rate currently?
Currently, just the elevated heart rate. Still able to push forward.
Cool. So between Sinclair and Laura, who's next and last?
I think, I mean, I might be wrong, but so Laura's passive insight is 17, so it's very kind of in touch with people. And I think would maybe notice a slight increase in panic in Tego, so it isn't going to act on anything, but it's just going to be right behind him, like monitoring them and just making sure that they're okay, but not approaching.
Cool. So Laura next, and then Sinclair, you're happy?
Yeah.
I was about to say.
He'll bring up the rear.
Bring up the rear? Yeah, you beat me to it.
You guys step down this hallway, that natural fungal smell of something old, not necessarily rotting, but something old and natural and damp surrounds you and pervades the air. As you step down this hallway, try again, these little bioluminescent fungus and similar things growing on the wall, algae and the like, give a level of illumination to the room. As you begin to move down, you begin to hear just on the edge of hearing this soft voice echoing down the hall. What would you guys like to do?
I suppose sort of at the back of the group as it stands, sort of looking forward as the soft echoing sort of rings out through... Oh, why did I close Google? That was silly. While I sort of like starts to fill this cavern, Rain's just going to sort of peek out from behind the group and goes, Horwick, what is it? What do you see? What's going on?
Horwick tries to peer around the corner from where he is just seeing more cavern. He sort of whispers back, it's just more cavern up ahead, but that definitely sounds like Gilly's voice.
And next to Horwick at the front, we just have Tego saying, every corner, every stone, they remember the terror he wrought.
That's never not going to be terrifying. Do you want me to just stab him in the back while he's busy singing to whatever he's singing to? I can be quiet, you know.
Don't know who that was addressed at, but Horwick shakes his head.
I mean, we can't just stand here. We look like lemons. We either go or we go back.
Let's go in quietly, see if we can't take him by surprise, though. I think Rain's got a good idea.
Well, do you want me to take the lead? I can try and sneak in to get a better advantage before we start with the, mauling.
Not a bad idea. Yeah.
Alright then. Follow my lead and, stay close. I don't want to die. And very sort of deftly moving around everyone within the sort of the cavern, being slightly polite. Like, sorry, excuse me, just coming through. Don't mind me. Rain is going to make his way to the front of the group, and then looking out to these sort of little outcrops of rocks. Are they there in the map? Like, is the map accurate to the rock formations I can see?
Yeah, so as you move to the sort of end of this corridor where it turns into this larger cavern, you can see these little sort of piles of stone, some bits of stalagmite and stalactite sort of reaching towards one another, and there are a handful of places where you could absolutely sort of rush out and hide behind.
Okay, this one here, does that look tall enough to conceal me should I want it to?
Yes, absolutely. So that was about 30-ish feet in front of you. Yeah, there's a little outcropping of rock there that you can hide your body behind.
So low to the ground, light on his feet, Rain is going to very quickly and very deftly, in a crouched sort of quick walk, just dart towards that outcropping and then try to hide.
Cool. Give me a stealth check.
Oh yeah, I can do this. I'm a rogue now. Okay, that's an 18 plus 7, so 25.
Yeah, you're absolutely fine. You're able to move silently across this stone floor and slip behind this outcropping. You don't even have to make a check. As you're making that move, you maybe have like a stutter step, but without making any sound, as you realize almost immediately, as you clear that wall to the left, you can see some distance ahead of you. Well, the first thing you see is that the center of this cavern isn't just all stone. It opens up into this great still pool of underground water. Every so often in the distance you just hear the drip, drip, drip of water off of the stalactites falling into this pool, the gentle ripples not even reaching the edges before they die away. But more alarmingly, stood right at the edge of this pool, seemingly talking to something in it, you can see Guilfoyle.
Watching Guilfoyle seemingly having a chat with a lake. Rain is going to point a finger towards Horwick, and using message, he's just going to telepathically send his way, or a very hushed voice, however you run it. Well, he's there, but he seems to be talking to the water, so just pass that along the line, and maybe if we can keep him, in good conversation with Aqua over there, we can get him from behind.
Horwick passes that information along to everyone. So is the plan then that everyone wants to try and sneak out and get as close to Guilfoyle as possible?
I will be honest, I am not the most sneaky. I don't know how well I will hold back. You guys go ahead first. I will stay around here. Try and be quiet.
Tego will say, claws grip tight, heart races fast, don't look down the abyss, waits below, and casts spider climb and starts to scuttle up the wall.
Amazing. Cool. Horwick watches that happen. Just like, right, well, big lad, I can be quite quiet when I need to be, but you look like you clank a lot when you move. What's your plan?
Well, this is true. I could hold back until we have a full, sight on the situation. Yes, I don't want to draw unnecessary attention.
Right. Well, I'm going to make a move. If anyone's taking my cousin down, it's me. And he is going to try and sneak up as close to Rian as he can. That's not bad. That's not bad. What's his dex? Dex pretty good. Dex is pretty good. What is Guilfoyle's passive perception? Not enough. So, you guys watch as Horwick silently, not quite as silently as Rian, but quiet enough, moves up next to Rian. Tego, with Spider Climb, you can obviously move up the wall, but you're no quieter because of it. Where are you planning to move with that spell active?
I would be trying to move somewhere into the middle of the room, but just on the ceiling.
Cool. Give me a stealth check. I'll let you roll at advantage because nobody be listening out for sounds coming from the ceiling.
Okay.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
With advantage, that's 16.
16 is still higher than his passive, so position yourself somewhere around the center of the room, and we'll all have to remember that you're actually on the ceiling.
There we are. I'll go there.
Perfect. So, Sinclair and Laura are still waiting down by the narrower hallway. The other three of you, including Horwick, have moved into the middle of the room. Rian, you can see Horwick he's pulled the axe round as he snuck into the room, and you see his hands sort of gripping. You can actually almost hear his hands like tearing at the leather he's gripping onto it so hard. And he's waiting for you to sort of signal that you're all ready.
So taking a knife and sort of holding it between hands and sort of lining up a fair sort of shot from where he is. Rain's going to look to Horwick because he seems to have investment to this guy to a degree that, Rain doesn't. He just wants him dead. So he sort of looks to him as he's sort of gripping his like, if you want to go. If you want me to throw this, just let me know what you want to do. But either way, we can start this now.
Horwick attempts to judge the distance, realizes there's still a fair gap between himself and his second cousin. So he's going to nod and begin to try and sneak closer. Let's see how close he can get. Oh, that's cocked, which is good because it was only a 5 on the die. That's uncocked, and it's a 6 on the die.
Yeah.
For a total of 9, which unfortunately, finally, doesn't beat Guilfoyle's passive. So, you watch as Horwick steps out around these stone outcroppings and brandishes the axe. You see he's getting ready to move into a full sprint, and as he brings the axe round, he just chink. The edge of the axe just catches one of the stones, and that sound just rings out ever so gently. You see Guilfoyle immediately stop speaking, spins on his heel, and can I get just Rian and Tego to make me a perception check, please?
Yes. Perception. Oh, okay. Nat 20.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a 9 for me.
Okay. Then Rian with a nat 20, you notice as Guilfoyle turns, there is a ripple from this body of water, as if something under the surface moved. But you don't get a look at what it was.
Like a big ripple from a big thing, or like a small ripple from a small thing?
It was either something small near the surface or something big further down.
That didn't help. Okay.
Like I say, with the distance
relative.
you are, the distance you are and the angle you're looking in, like it'll be like trying to look at something in the water while looking like directly across the surface of the water. But Guilfoyle spins, sees Horwick, still hasn't spotted you, Rian, or you, Tego, on the ceiling, and his eyes narrow at Horwick carrying the axe. Cousin, and I've just been given word that you've finished your job for the evening. What brings you back here so soon? And Horwick starts to sweat because he's now, for some reason, the face. He sort of like you guys watch as he like nervously like sort of tries to work out, should I try putting the axe away? Should I? He hesitates for a moment too long, and you see Guilfoyle reach into the jacket he's wearing and reach into an inside pocket, and his eyes narrow, and he said, "You wouldn't be having any violent thoughts there now, would you, Horwick? Things are going so well here. You wouldn't want to make me angry now, would you?" Horwick, with an intelligence score of 6,
Oh no.
decides to charge. We're going to go to initiative.
This is information we should have known first.
We're going to go to initiative. I'm sorry. I went to as I looked to see what his charisma was to try and lie to him, I was like, he has an intelligence of 6. This isn't going to go well. We're going to go to initiative as Horwick brandishes the axe and screams, "This isn't how you treat family!" And he's going to begin rushing Guilfoyle, who just smiles, and you see him grab something in his pocket. So, going to initiative. Lovely. So, Rian.
14.
Lovely. Laura.
9.
Tego.
15.
And Sinclair.
14.
14. Lovely. Unfortunately for you guys, Guilfoyle rolled the highest. So he gets to act first. But luckily for you guys, that also means he doesn't know that any of you guys are there. As far as he's aware, he's just having to deal with his cousin. So he grabs a hold of something in his pocket, and Horwick is going to have to make a wisdom save at disadvantage, which he fails. You guys all watch as Horwick falls to the ground, clutching at his head, and begins screaming in pain. And Guilfoyle just laughs. Horwick, we've been through this already. If you do what you're told, you'll be treated... You see he smiles wickedly. Well, not well, but better than this, certainly. How many times before you learn? And Horwick's turn. He is restrained, and he takes some psychic damage. So, next in the order, Tego, what would you like to do?
Ooh, I am... How far away am I? From up here, I am gonna cast Dissonant Whispers.
Ooh.
At Horwick. So that is a wisdom save, please.
Horwick or Guilfoyle?
Yeah.
Sorry, Guilfoyle. Sorry, there's
Just
family.
immediately turn coding, not even at my phone. Just get it later. So wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
That is a total of 16.
Okay, so 16 will pass. So they will take half of 9. So 4.
Cool. What does it look like as Tego casts Dissonant Whispers?
You're just gonna hear from the shadows of these stalactites this small little whispering voice from this kobold that's just going, "I'm in your head, I'm in your head, I'm in your head, I'm in your head, I'm in your head," and just over and over and over again.
It's the D&D equivalent of "This is the song that'll get on your nerves, get on your nerves, get on your nerves." Rian, you see as Guilfoyle spins around in a panic, one hand going to his head, not in quite as much pain as Horwick is, but still obviously hurt by this, and eventually he manages to track his eyes up. Actually, no, I'm going to make him... Because you're on the ceiling. Why would he look at the ceiling? Let's give him a perception check. Nope, he fucks it. He spins around. He's wondering where this is coming from. He just doesn't see you in this shadowy, occluded section of the roof, or of the ceiling itself, and
Amazing.
He still doesn't know you're there. Any
As a
movement?
bonus action, I'm going to stay where I am, but as a bonus action, I'm just going to telepathically speak into Rain's mind and just say, I'm in his head, Tego's in his head.
Beautiful.
You just hear back, okay, and stay there, and please don't come into mine.
And if you reply, I just go, someone's in my head! And shout that out loud.
At which point, Guilfoyle's eyes dart up to the ceiling, narrow, and he just looks confused because he doesn't, to him, like, not to be, not to assign negative traits to the villain, but to him, all kobolds look the same. So he has no idea who you are or why you're involved in this. So that is your turn. Rian, what would you like to do?
What would I like to do? Where is Horwick positioned at the moment, just so I know? Because he's moved now, hasn't he? Or is he downed?
He's literally just on the other side of the rocks from you. Like, right.
Oh, so he didn't get anywhere.
No, like literally the second he started to run, Guilfoyle activated whatever it is he activated.
Okay, then... Yeah, Rain with knife in hand just sort of looks at Horwick, sighs slightly, hearing the sound of a distressed kobold in the ceiling somewhere. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound, I suppose. Let's fuck some shit up. And he is going to sort of fairly acrobatically leap over the rock, sort of one hand, knife still in hand, move to here with that. And I'm going to throw a knife, and I'm going to try and aim for the arm that is holding the device. I want to try and get the device off his hand or injure him in a way that he drops it, something along those lines. But he's basically throwing for the arm/shoulder of the thing he is holding to try and stop him from doing that.
Cool. So if you want to make like a mechanical thing, I'll allow you to do like a called shot. So it'll increase the AC, but if you hit it, he'll drop whatever he's holding.
Yeah, I'll go for that then. Let's go. Okay, that is 23 to hit.
Yeah, even with the bonus, that's definitely going to hit. You watch as your dagger sinks into his forearm, which causes him to like just throw it, like just react instinctively. His arm gets thrown out, and you see it pull from an inside pocket this little black rod with a amethyst gemstone affixed to the end of it. And as he throws his hand out, it releases from his grip and clatters to the floor next to him. You notice, however, that Horwick doesn't stop reacting to the pain. Whatever's affecting him is still active.
Damn. Well, at least.
Sorry. What I should have actually done at the end of Horwick's turn is roll another save for him, which he still whiffs. So never mind.
Okay. Sort of noticing that this hasn't really stopped Horwick from being in pain, he's going to look towards what's the bad guy's name again? Sorry, Gilly. He's going to look toward. I should know that. He looks towards Gilly, and he's like, well, I don't like how you own people, and clearly you have a problem with discipline, so it's either you or me. Which is it going to be, my friend? As he pulls another 2 daggers from his thing and just readies himself.
Cool.
And I will leave it there.
Yep, you see, as you say that, you see he's literally in the process of pulling this dagger out of his arm and snarling various swear words at you, but he doesn't react just yet. Sinclair, it is your turn. You hear all of this going on, everything is kicked off, you hear Horwick screaming in pain, you've just heard Gilly yell out in pain and swear a lot in Halfling.
Sinclair will turn to Laura and say, well, I think it's time we better go and give the kids some backup. And he'll run in, use his 30 foot of movement, and then bonus action dash to move 60 foot, and there's nothing else I can do. So he'll end his turn sort of standing in between Guilfoyle and Horwick, ready to defend Horwick.
Cool. Going to assume you meant action to dash, but yes, you're in the room. You're between Horwick and Gilly. Cool. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Cool. Lovely. Laura.
All right, very similar. 15. So Tigger's on the ceiling, so I don't have to worry about hitting them. 85. Oh, go on. Let's guiding bolt.
Yeah, you're right.
So you rush out of the narrow hallway into the expanded cavern, getting a direct line of sight on Guilfoyle. So give us an attack roll.
Okie dokie. What am I doing? Guiding bolt. I know how to play a cleric. Oh, yes, that's pretty good. That is a 24 to hit.
24 is definitely going to hit. Good God.
I'm doing this as second level, by the way, so that's 5d6.
Cool. Good to know.
Go in.
Right, so we've got... Okay, not too bad. So 12, 16, 21 points of radiant damage.
Nice.
Nice.
What does your guiding bolt look like as you fire it off?
I think that it looks... as I kind of dash in, kind of the armor, like, clattering around me and clanking around me as I run through, I kind of stretch my hands out, and inside appears, like, a small, like, golden hairpin that glows, like, with this radiant light, and I just fire it over through the dark cavern.
Amazing. So this hairpin flashes from your hands, the light, like you say, illuminating this cavern around you as it sort of washes over the walls, striking Guilfoyle square in the chest as he's wrestled this dagger out of his arm. He yells in pain once again, but is now also lit up by this. What colour was the light? Sorry, was it golden?
Golden, yeah.
Yeah, this golden light now drifts and hangs about him in these little sparkling orbs, granting advantage on the next attack. Cool. Anything else?
Yes. Hang on. Do I have any bonus actions? I don't know. Let's see. No. That's me. That's all me.
Amazing. In which case, we're back to the top with Guilfoyle, who is hurt, angry, and going to turn invisible.
Of course he is.
So he, before doing so, glares at you, Sinclair, now sort of stood between him and Horwick. Actually, the first thing he's going to do is, because it's just on the ground next to him, lean down and pick up that rod he had, and then he's going to snarl, "Doesn't matter how many you bring, cousin, you're not getting away from this." And then turns invisible. Or, as far as you're aware, he just disappears. He's turned invisible.
Wait, do we know that or not?
Cool. That is everything for his turn. Horwick is going to attempt another wisdom save.
Come on.
There we go. It didn't beef it this time. At this point, he still takes half damage from the psychic damage, but he is able to overcome the restrained effect. That wasn't a lot of damage at all, which is good. You see, he shakes his head a bit and begins to push himself off the floor, grabbing the axe, and he growls something under his breath. And maybe those of you who have been in combat with him before, maybe have seen this before. Sinclair, you wouldn't have seen this. He bonus action. Oh no, you would have seen it already because you've been in he's used it already today. But you see him as his muscles begin to swell, these veins begin to throb and stick out as he rages, and he is now raging.
Yeah, he is.
He had to use half his movement to stand up. 5, 10, 15, 20 feet. So he's going to try and start moving past you, Sinclair. You see, he's almost sniffing at the air to try and find his cousin, but that is all he can do. Unfortunately, at this time, you guys hear something ominous. It is the sound of water as it splashes and ripples as several creatures step out from under the water's surface. 4 creatures pull themselves up onto the bank of this pool. You see, weirdly, they are dressed in these thick, heavy cloaks with hoods pulled up, even here in this cavern. Sopping wet, they are just clinging to their body, which means that you can quite clearly see that whatever these creatures are, there is something slightly inhuman about them, as these cloaks cling and hang off of what appear to be spines or an arm that doesn't look quite like an arm under the cloak. But they begin to move up on to the bank. What is their movement speed? It's only 20 feet. That's terrible. 10, 15, 20.
That close for you.
That's difficult terrain, if anything is.
Oh god, my jacket is soaked. Why do we stay in water?
But the last one does have 30. 5, 10.
It's going to rush up behind you, Rian and Sinclair, clearing the distance from the bank of this water to the center of the cavern. And it, like, hunches down a little bit, rears back, the cloak falling clear of its head, and you see something that is definitely not humanoid. This is definitely some strange Piscine creature. You see its mouth open and then flaps open further outward, like some sort of deep sea fish. Sort of like, think of it sort of like Predator, but less insectile, more fish-like.
More flappy, yeah.
You see, as the hood falls away, it has these, what you're not 100% sure what they are, because you can't see the base of them, but there are something like tendrils or tentacles coming out of the back of its skull, where hair would normally be running down the back. And you see these large needle-like teeth filling this maw, which just opens wider and wider. And it screeches, the sound echoing back and forth off this cavern, driving you guys to your knees. And I need, I'm pretty sure, literally everyone. How far away are you guys? Oh, just about. I need everyone to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save, what did you say?
Yes, wisdom save from everyone, please.
Okay. Okay.
It was an 18 for me.
Ooh, pass.
17 from me.
16 from Sinclair.
God damn it.
11.
Yay! The three of you who rolled above the 11, you all like feel this sound reverberating around in your skull, but you're able to like shake off the lasting effects. Han, unfortunately, you are going to be stunned until the end of the creature's next turn.
Oh, for Pete's sake. All right. I love a nap.
Yeah, the sound was so much you've literally been driven to your knees, and while the rest of the sound sort of like dissipates for you, it's literally like bouncing around the inside of your skull at the minute. Cool. Tego, before you begin your turn, can I get a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh no. That was a natural 20.
Oh, damn it.
Oh.
You feel something like, almost like the sensation of someone like reaching out and putting their hand on the back of your head, but it's not a hand. You feel something like tentacles just caressing the back of your skull, but nothing more than that. Sinclair, can I get a perception check from you, please?
That is... Ooh, that was good. That is 18.
Unaware of what's happened to Tego, you've turned to face these creatures that are coming out of the water, and it just so happens that as you do so, your eyes scan the surface of the water, and you see just below the surface, a little ways out, 3 red dots, something glowing under the water, stacked vertically. It reminds you of something from a dream.
As soon as he sees that, just he'll start to grab his forehead in that kind of
Fun. Tego, you can take your turn.
Tego is going to scuttle across the ceiling just a little bit to around about there, and then will scream into his own hand and
just to release some stress,
and throw out a shatter spell into the ceiling between the 2 creatures that are furthest to the left, trying to cause stalactites to fall on them.
Okay, yeah, I like that, absolutely. So, there's no saving throw, it's an inanimate object, but just give me a damage roll, and the higher the roll, the more damage I'm going to do to these guys.
Mm-hmm. That is 15 points of damage.
Okay, not bad. So the both of them are going to make dexterity saving throws to try and dodge this thing. They have a -1 to their dex, which means that neither of them are going to get out of the way of this. So what I'll say is... So because you have done 15 damage to the ceiling, a load of rocks, stalactites, are going to begin falling down. With the fall damage and the bits of stone, I'm going to roll 4d8, and that's how much damage they're going to take. Awesome. 14. Damn, that was quite good. 22 damage, so you ended up doing more damage across 2 creatures. I think I was a bit generous on that, but whatever, here we are.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Cool. You guys watch. This happens, and these creatures are sort of like confused because they've just heard their ally screeching, and then you just like scream into your hand, and they're like, "What?" And then you throw it. This little ball of screams just hits one of these stalactites, and it just boom shatters, explodes, and they're just in shock and don't even try to dodge as several I wouldn't say tons, but a lot of rock falls about 40 feet on top of them, and they are quite badly hurt.
What if an appliance emergency didn't have to be? If your appliances suddenly decided they were done, don't stress. Best Buy has you covered with a wide variety of major appliances from trusted brands, in stock and available now. So you don't have to worry about laundry piling up, refilling the fridge, or that big dinner party you're hosting. Because Best Buy has the knowledge and expertise to get you the right appliance for your home. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks very much for sticking with us. As always, thank you to Lixie B for our wonderful logo, Jeff for all the amazing artwork he creates that you can find on our online store, wonderful sponsors DN Dice and Arcanist Rum, links for both can be found in the description, Michael Gelfie and Monument Studios for allowing us to use their tracks in our scoring, and of course all of our wonderful Patreon supporters who have allowed us to continue creating additional content for the podcast. Your support means the world to us, and we can only hope that with your help we'll continue to make great content. The only thing is to say thank you so much to our wonderful guests once again, Dan and Han of Tales on Tap and Sam from Science and Sorcery. Thank you guys so much. It was an absolute joy running this game, and we have a couple more episodes left, so I hope you guys are enjoying listening to it. And thank you guys again for your patience waiting for us to return. Like I said in the little preamble in the sort of mini episode ahead of this, this was a fully unplanned break. I have to hold my hand up to that. It was a major cock-up on my end, but we're hopefully back on a regular schedule. Obviously, since we've last put out an episode, there has been a lot that's gone on, a lot of very cool stuff. So check out our Instagram, keep an eye on our Discord if you're not already to see some of the cool stuff that we've been up to, and keep an eye out specifically in the coming weeks. I got to do something very cool with the guys over at Defenders of the Diceyverse. Jack invited me over down to London to do a recording with them, which was a lot of fun. I cannot wait to hear it. We only, as of the point of me recording this, we only recorded that last Saturday, and it should be coming out hopefully soonish. I actually need to check the exact date, so keep an eye out on our Instagram for more information on that. But that's it for this week's episode. Thanks very much for sticking with us, and we'll see you soon. You've been listening to Modified Roll, part of the Potteration Network.
Hey there, Hugh from Potteration here. If you like today's show, why not have a listen to Board Gamers Anonymous, one of the longest running board game podcasts out there. Join Anthony and Chris every week as they discuss everything in the board game world, from card games to miniature games and more. They talk about some of their favourites and hopefully help you find your next ones. If you want to check the show out, you can find more information at potteration.com.